I want to talk about, obviously, there was a large moment that happened a little bit. We don't have to get too much into it. A lot of people saw it. But what I want to discuss is, I think the reason why I would say you like have that type of reaction to something that is obviously that hurts. First of all, it hurts your team. It hurts the sport, coming together like that with like Dixon, but it's because you care so much about what you're doing too. What I explain it to people, like, it's so hard to be in this sport already. It's so hard to put the perfect lap together. You're always working so hard that of course you're going to be emotional about it, right? Like you care about what you're doing. If you're not emotional about it, then you don't care. So like, I think that was crazy, first of all, to see that accident happen, because I was obviously watching and I was like, oh my gosh, that's just a massive mistake by Scott there. And two great champions in the wall, and you're like, you never expect to see that. But like, do you agree? Like, you have to, you're emotional because you care so much about what you do.
You're exactly right. Like, I was so emotional because, we both did. We both needed that session so badly. Like, it was more frustration. It's like, it sucks. And you've destroyed a good car. Has it hurt the engine? Is it, now it's a thrash, and now we don't know what we're going to have for qualifying. And in that field, you cannot turn up to qualifying with any doubts. Like, you cannot turn up half-assed. You're just never going to make it through the first round. And sure enough, so that was like getting out of the car. I was just, because I knew that's it. The session's over. I was pissed. And, I know Scott is one of the most reliable, best guys around. Like, he is, even as a person, he's one of the best guys. Yeah. Like, he's not, I have so much respect for him. And I knew exactly what happened. He was just trying to get out of the way, and it was a bad mistake, and didn't expect me to be so close to the car in front. Whatever it was. It was obviously a very abrupt move. But, as soon as we got in the medical car, I was like, sorry, man, I shouldn't have grabbed you. I was like, I was just, it's just frustrating. No, we talked, and it was fine. And then we were laughing about it later that day anyway. But both of us, it ruined. I felt bad for him too. Like, it ruined both our weekends at a critical point in the season where Pelot's pulling this gap, and it's a halfway point. You got to, try to be within that 100 points of the halfway. Otherwise, it starts to get real difficult. So, and oh man, it was just one of those things. Like, I was never gonna. I just grabbed it. I was like, Dave, why would you do that?
What the heck? Yeah. Racing season is underway. New customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SPEEDSTREET. Bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
That's code SPEEDSTREET. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Massachusetts, call 800-327-5050 or visit gamblinghelplinema.org. In New York, call 8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Kansas, call 1-800-522-4700 on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. In West Virginia, gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. All games regulated by the West Virginia Lottery. Please play responsibly. In partnership with Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/auto racing terms.
But that's what I love it because it's we all put everything we have into the sport. We all go to the track and we all want to win. Like, we all want to fight for everything we're worth. And if something like that happens, of course it's going to affect us. Like, I hate when people, like, if you were to get out and be like, well, that was a real shame, clearly made a mistake. It's like, no, okay, like, we get it. But like, what you're trying to do is compete against some of the best people in the world, some of the best drivers in the world, and you have to have everything go the right way. And so I love the emotion in that. And again, you have enough wins and championships to where, like, you know what? say whatever the heck you want. I wish more drivers would be like honest like that, because I think there are many of us who have those interactions like where someone does something and we've all been guilty of it and you're just like, why? Like, so like, come on. You know what I mean? There's a lot of emotion in this sport because it's dangerous, it's tough, and you're fighting for, big prizes.
I always say that, like, what stopped people doing emotional interviews and saying what they think is social media.
Oh,
is the
of course.
abuse you get on social media. People don't, like, if you got out and was just like, yeah, no, that's like, you don't give. You're never. You're not going to perform because you don't care. It's showing the effort and how hard it is to do well in this series. So when something happens that takes your chances away, man, you better be pissed off or you shouldn't be driving.
I completely agree.
Yeah, and you should, like, everyone's a computer now. I became one last year. I was just like, you just can't get emotional, which is true. Mentally, you cannot get emotional. And you can't say anything negative ever on TV for the abuse you get on social media. But sometimes you just go, screw it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm saying what I think. And that's what I did on the weekend.
No, but that's great. Like, I went to bat for you on the internet too, because I was like, if you don't think this is great for IndyCar, like, it made SportsCenter, it was the most talked about thing on the weekend. And like, our sport is a sport that does need help right now. Like, we do need that type of, like, we do need people, like, when you show emotion, your fans get emotional about supporting you because they're like, yeah, that's our guy. You know what I mean? And that creates more of a connection between the folks that support us and doing what we do. So I thought it was great. And I don't even know what happened with Grosjean, but I was like, I know several people have wanted to probably say that as well before, right? Like, there's a lot that gets said behind the scenes that never really comes out. And then that was one of those things that you probably would have said behind the scenes. But sure enough, we went for it.
Yeah. No, the Grosjean thing was on the back straight.
Yeah.
I was coming out of the pits on warm tires. He was on new tires. So I was like, I want to get it in front of him, just go, because he's going to take a couple laps to get up to speed. A big run through the kink. Get beside him. He's like, I don't want him passing me. So just put him in the grass. And I actually didn't say anything on the radio. I just thought, how date, and then they actually had a moment, like the rear, like, move. I was like, oh my God, that would have been big.
Yeah.
So I didn't say anything. I just didn't even say anything on the radio, backed off, started the lap, and then the Dixon thing happened. So, then I just remembered in a bad mood. I thought, if I see Grosjean, wait till I see it. Wait till I didn't get to see him. So on the interview, I just thought, and I did just
go for it.
Yeah, I mean, those top speeds like that, it was just a dangerous move. I was pissed off, and